Hello, everyone. Welcome to Small Talk. Well, I've asked my guest to introduce herself because, as you know, I get problem with names sometimes, and I find that disrespectful when I don't pronounce somebody's name properly. So, would you please introduce yourself?
Thank you so much, Nancy, for having me here today. My name is Wyavanna Muslishas, um, and some people know me as Chief Justice Suzanne Holland. So if that's easier to pronounce, that will be fine as well.
Okay. No, you emailed me some really interesting information. Two different things. One is in the Universal
Yes,
Supreme Court of the Chilcotin people, I guess it is, and also the Chilcotin,
yes,
right? So,
yes,
yeah. So, which one would you?
yes, I did. So basically, what we have done in the Universal Supreme Court is we have taken a look at the world situation, especially in light of our neighbors' recent elections in the United States and what the goings on are down there and how it impacts Canadians, how it impacts Native people across the world. And so we have kind of raised the caution flag a little bit about what has happened recently with the so-called election of President-elect Donald Trump and how he has been behaving, especially um, during this last election, and how um, religious leaders in the United States have rallied around
Yeah.
President-elect Donald Trump and how they are promoting him, how they have supposedly elected him in their view, and so on and so forth. And so we are very concerned that there is what the Bible terms as the image of the beast. In Revelation, you'll people will see that those terms there repeatedly over and over again mentioned, and that refers to um, a state and church union, which is very, very volatile situation, a very dangerous situation, because that gives people with religious slant uh, power to hurt others, and that is not acceptable in a free country. It certainly wasn't um, many years ago when our founding fathers had come here and received the kindnesses of the Native people, and uh, so at that point in time, they were fleeing religious persecution
Yeah.
from a church-state union in Europe. And so, unfortunately, that church-state union seems to be wanting to dig roots into our continent and establish itself. And the recipe for that is absolute dictatorship,
Yeah.
and it's an existential threat, according to our view and according to what the scripture foretells. And so, as the Chief Justice of the Universal Supreme Court, I had issued orders against any laws that may be forthcoming to infringe upon people's religious freedoms, because once you take away people's religious freedoms and their right to honor God in their way and to carry out their duties to God in their own way, if you take that people's rights away, you have basically, in essence, taken away all their rights. And so that is a very dangerous situation. We want to speak out against it.
Mhm.
I have issued orders against it. And it's just a matter of people getting to know about it, that they can rely upon those orders if they feel that their religious freedoms have been curtailed in some way, uh, either in the United States or in Canada or, you know, Chilcotin, wherever. And so that's there for people to look at and to rely upon. Um, an article was also written about this to explain to people in the Chilcotin News a little bit about how it all works and how, the Bible kind of lays it out as far as prophecy is concerned. Unfortunately, it looks like prophecy is being fulfilled on this issue, but that doesn't mean that we can sit idly by
No.
and do nothing about it, in my view. I think we need to right the wrongs wherever we see wrongs being done.
Mhm.
We need to fight against tyranny, against oppression. And we definitely, in the Universal Supreme Court, feel that we need to uh, help with with justice and freedoms and uphold people's rights, basic human rights, and all rights that we inherit from our Creator. And so that's our mandate. And we will not sit silent while people are suffering. That is not something we can do.
Right. It's kind of interesting to me. I don't understand why he was reelected this time go around. And because he's made it pretty obvious what he wants to be. He wants to be a dictator. He's kind of let people know that. And I don't understand the people that support him. Um, we're talking about intelligent, well-educated people. They're not all,
Yes,
people with little education, right? So it's really difficult to understand. And it definitely is going to have an impact on Canada. How can it not?
exactly.
Yeah. So
Yes.
do you think that people will listen? We'll hear the warnings and we'll pay attention.
I I'm hoping they will. Um, as we have been distributing the Chilcotin News in the Fraser Valley, I definitely have seen some um, very strong reactions where people have finally seemed to have gotten an answer to an underlying feeling that they had that something was wrong, but all of a sudden now they see that verbalized, and it's grieving to have that much information. So um, so much with so much light put on it, but at the same time, I think it will be good for us to um, as a society uh, to really come to terms with reality,
Right.
which is kind of weird to have to say, but I think there's been so much deception thrown on our society in this day and age that reality seems to be hard to find.
Yeah,
And
for
it's
sure.
it's a good wake up, I think, for a lot of people that this is not going to be sugar coated. We're not going to hide it under the carpet. We're going to deal with what reality really is, and then go from there. So I think I just thank you so much, Nancy, for helping us to get this truth out there,
Mm.
because so few people really want the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Well, I think a lot of times is people don't want to believe certain things. Um, like the theory is that the some of the people that support, say, President-elect Trump, only listen to the stations that tout his qualities, I guess you could say. They don't
Yes,
they don't have a wide view. They don't read different things or look at different channels on the television. So they're very just sort of focused kind of with their blinders on, right? And then
exactly. And that's so sad because um, you know, there's just been so many people that have said to me, well, we know that, he was involved with January 6th, We see all this, but there must be some excuse, and they keep trying to excuse and excuse bad behaviors, which is actually very unhealthy to do, because it's what an abuser will do to the victims. They will continually abuse, but still be nice at the same time. So the victim has a hard time accepting the fact that their abuser really is their abuser. So it's
Yeah,
kind of like the Stockholm syndrome, and you know, that's why this deception is so great, because en masse all these intelligent people are just failing to get it, because they see some things good that they want to say is good, and mixed in with some things that are bad, and they want to excuse the bad. It's just not healthy to overlook what really is going on. For example, on January 6th, President Trump, or former President Trump at that point,
right.
had invited all his followers, his supporters, to the Washington, DC, and then promised them all of kinds of victories,
Hmm.
and then step back and let the people take fall. And that is so egregious and so wrong, in my opinion.
Yeah,
And people that I talked to, his ardent supporters, they were willing to overlook that. And I'm saying, no, you can't overlook that. That's what he did. And he gave no excuse. There was no excuse for a leader to not lead at that point. And he, unfortunately, what he did was he entrapped his own people.
right. Yeah. Well, it's kind of interesting because I'm watching a program on television. There's all kind of this right now analyzing how did this happen? How did he get reelected? What did Kamala not do that she should have done? I hope I pronounced her name correctly. And it's got nothing to do with her. Really doesn't, because she did a supreme job. It's just that one of the theories is that he told people what they wanted to hear. Well, I'm going to help you. I'm going to make the economy better. I'm going to make our country great again. And I think that's one of the opinions. That's why a lot of people voted for him again, right? Because they really believed that. And all of the negative comments they made about, what's his name, who's current president, they believe that as well. He's the cause of all the things that are bad happening in the US, not Trump. So it's like, how do you counter that?
Exactly. And that's the sad reality of this, is that people don't understand a lot of times that nations who have joined the United Nations, and thank God that the Native people, the true sovereign Native people, have not joined the United Nations, because those countries that have joined the United Nations, and this goes back years ago, to the League of Nations before the United Nations happened, but during the United Nations, all those countries that have to the United Nations gave up their sovereignty.
Hmm.
They
Yeah.
signed on to accepting the Charter for the United Nations, which explicitly states that once you've joined up with the United Nations, if you were told to go to war with another country or with another state, you have to do that. You have to obey, and that's the right that these countries have given up.
Yeah.
So um, if somebody like the Vatican, who is a great influencer at the United Nations right now, tells, somebody behind closed doors, okay, well, now you have to go to war with your friend, they have to comply. Otherwise, of course, they will, I guess, um, find themselves with reprisal and whatnot to deal with. But so this is a a huge dictatorship from the United Nations head, which we, can very well see that the Vatican, the Pope of Rome, has a great hand in. And so we don't know when behind closed doors, one country is told to go to war with another country. We don't know that. We don't see that.
Right.
But these countries have agreed to do that. And so just, it just so happens that if, for example, the Vatican tells all the countries involved in the United Nations to go to war with their own people and, use bioweapons to inject, innocent children and women and men with horrific illnesses, or if they have laser beams, murdering, innocent people in places like Lahaina, and so on and so forth. We don't see that. We don't see the orders that the United Nations gives all these countries to go to war with their own people. And that, other than all of a sudden we're seeing all these things going wrong around us, and we're seeing, uh, horrific things going on, and we're wondering, where is it all coming from? Well, it all, like the saying goes, all roads lead back to Rome.
Yeah.
And that's true. We have to call it out for what it's worth. And um, we can see, where the Vatican has destroyed many lives over the years with residential school children,
Sure.
and with in Europe, burning Christians at the stake, to now, they're continuing to do that, but in a secret way. And, they're hiding behind fronts and front men, so-called leaders of these countries, and they're dictating to them all these things. And so I will not sit idly by saying, doing nothing. That's why that's our mandate. We have to fight against it. And it may be a David and Goliath scenario, but you know what? David wins in the end with his God. And so I believe that we also will succeed in pushing back these evil forces.
Right. Yeah. Changing the topic a little bit, like, how do you think, like, how bad do you think it's going to be if President-elect Trump continues the way he's going? How bad is it going to be for First Nations? Like, what can you kind of predict?
Yes, I think it's going to be extremely bad. I'm already in hiding. Let's put it that way. Because he's already threatened political prisoners, and I've, in my past, I've been a political prisoner. Of course, all of this goes back to the Vatican, who doesn't want Native people to assert their authority and independence. The Vatican has always been very jealous of Native people because Turtle Island is really actually owned by Native people. This is their land and our land. And so he has done everything in his power to hurt Native people, and he will do the same through Donald Trump. Donald Trump seems very willing to be the right-hand man for the Pope. And he has duped, sadly duped religious leaders of all kinds into believing that he is for the people. He is not for the people. He has proven that over and over again in his past presidency, and he continues to even state that he's going to take people's freedoms away. So no, I don't see anything good coming out of the next 4 years, that he's going to take control. And I would strongly advise Native people to stand united now more than ever, for their own protection, for the protection of their people. I definitely want to advise the Native people to stand behind people like Kevin Annett and his courts, and we need to we need to protect ourselves as much as possible
Right, for
from
sure.
this tyranny.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it's getting the word out there, as you said, getting the message as wide as possible to as many people as possible to just open their eyes and just look around them and just what's it said? It said, listen to what a man says. Like believe what he says he's going to do, that he'll do it, right?
Yeah.
He's been, it's kind of interesting because he's being very blunt about what he plans on doing.
Yes.
So that's what makes it so scary in a way that
Yeah.
still he has power. He's going to have a lot of power as the
Yep. He has the they have the audacity to tell for tell people what they're doing, and people seem to be quite mesmerized by these people, and they need to, I think, try and reason out what all is there and what they're saying. Like you say, what they say is what they plan on doing, and that is to depopulate this planet in a big way.
yeah, again,
So
some people believe he's just kidding. You know,
yeah,
that's another thing that are no, or now there's also this wait and see attitude that many people have. Let's wait and see. He's not in power
yeah,
yet. Let's wait and see. Well, I'm thinking like, isn't the past behavior prediction of the future behavior, right?
yes. Those kind of attitudes are sadly very indicative of abuse. Abused people
Yeah,
will be um, taking. Well, it's hard for people who have been abused to get out of an abusive situation. We know that from just, family trauma and things like that. We do know that it's hard for people to leave their abusers, and now this is just on a magnified scale nationwide, where we are having a hard time disconnecting ourselves from our abusers. And that's one of the reasons why I am so happy with the Native people who are striving to move forward with their sovereignty, the hereditary people, such as, your people, and also the Chilcotin state, and the Republic of Canada. These people are moving forward, disconnecting themselves. Also, the Federation of Indigenous Nations, I might mention, with Dr. Three Rivers. All of our Native people are trying to disconnect from the abusive situations that these puppets of the Vatican have been doing to us. And it's very subtle abuse.
mm,
And just and so people seem to be now living, uh, accepting all this abuse just as a normal way of life. This is not normal,
right, right. But it's been going
and
on.
not
Yeah.
a least bit. But I just wanted to talk to the non-native people, uh, viewers of yours, is that you can get behind the hereditary native people, and you can partner with them. You can unite with them, and also to help yourselves disassociate and disconnect from these abusive powers that are out there. And that will definitely help protect everybody, because the more people that we have uniting with the sovereign indigenous people, the more power we have to protect ourselves and to get away from all the corruption, all the crime, all the evil, abusive situations that they plan on bringing on our society.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think it's been going on for so long that a lot of people can't see it any other, like they just can't see anything else, right? Yeah,
Correct.
yeah, it's like being groomed.
Exactly. That's what it is. It's almost a generational curse already.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm sorry, I've got a tickle in my mouth, in my throat a little bit. Well, I think we're going to end it there. Yeah, just stay on camera for a second, and just want to remind people that, pay attention to what's going on, believe what you hear, and from especially from President-elect Donald Trump. He is saying what he's going to do, and he's elected, so there's nothing he can do at the moment. He's not in power yet, but once he takes power, the proof will be there, right? It's and stand. I believe fully believe in standing behind the First Nations people, because you're there to them personally, to you First Nations people. You're such a strong people. I can't believe it. When I think about all that you've gone through in the past, all that you're going through now, and here you are. You're still here, and I just marvel at that. Just shows what strength you have, what humanity you have. So I appreciate that, and I definitely will do whatever I can to help out. And maybe
Thank you so much, Nancy. We really appreciate the opportunity to speak out on your platform.
thank you.
And definitely it's going to be a scary ride these next 4 years. Please pull together with those who are here to uphold your rights. These people are threatening extermination camps, and they're going to do it if we don't do something.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay, thank you. And viewers, thank you very much for watching this show. I hope you continue to do so, although I will not be airing as many shows as I used to, because I want to focus it differently on things like what we just heard today. So thank you, everybody, and take care and peace out.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, I'm going to try to get this aired today at 4 o'clock. Okay?
Okay,
Shouldn't
wonderful.
shouldn't be a problem. And as soon as it's aired, I will email it to you, the link to you. Okay?
Thank you so very much.
You're
God
welcome.
bless you. You're
And
doing a wonderful, wonderful work.
thank you. If there's anything I can do in the future, just please feel free to let me know, because I do want to change the direction of my show. Okay?
I'm just wondering, is there any way we can link those documents to the video or no?
I don't know how to do that, because there's some
Okay,
things I'm just not familiar with, and I don't have an editor anymore.
okay,
So my knowledge is kind of limited, but I can certainly forward to my Facebook page and see if I can get them attached there.
okay.
Okay?
Wonderful.
So I'll try to
Thank
do
you.
that. All right?
Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.